to another level video. Today we're gonna be covering the best upcoming games of July, August and September 2021. Main Brawler, heavily inspired by Final Fight and arcade beat-em-ups, it follows the formula very closely. Too close, I would say. Up to the point where it's not really anything surprising or innovative in any way, but it might be a fun experience. King's Bounty 2. Okay, King's Bounty 2 is like if the mobile strategy game had actually existed. The lore is cringe, the mechanics seem awkwardly put together, and the outcome is in God's hand. Rims Racing. Motorcycle Forza. Yes, it still didn't exist, but now, my friends, it's real. Realistic graphics and racing mechanics with actual engineering-based customization. Oh, and a variety of tracks. Yeah, both race tracks and music tracks. Does this kind of game ever offer something other than this? I mean, but does it have to? The Forgotten City, a mysterious game. Not purely a puzzle game, but a mystery one. This game is set in an ancient Roman city, and this game is pretty, like astonishingly pretty, especially for an indie game. The premise of fighting the guilty person before everyone gets turned to gold for some reason is entertaining enough. The AI looks kinda disappointing though, but still looks better than Cyberpunk, but oh well, I mean, let's see how this one turns out. Samurai Warriors 5. Samurai Warriors is to Japanese history what Percy Jackson is to Greek mythology. It's kinda right, but it's wrong, if you get what I mean. This instance is said to be in reimagination, and graphics-wise, it seems on par with what we see nowadays. But honestly, they don't need to reimagine much on a game about button mashing until everything on the screen is dead. Or so I humbly believe. Deathloop. Alright, Bethesda did a good job with Doom. And that being said, they might actually deliver a good FPS experience this time. The concept of a city trapped in an endless loop of two assassins trying to stop each other seems generic and trying to be too different, if that makes sense, but we'll see. Aliens, Fireteam. This is Gears of War and Left 4 Dead but with flamethrowers and aliens. That's really what this game is. If you have friends, you might want to catch this one. In Sound Mind. Do you remember Mind a Path to Talamus? Silent Hill? Video games? Alright, mix them up and something fresh might come out. In Sound Mind is about solving puzzles and finding stuff to get out of your own mind. This is pretty straightforward and I like it. After Resident Evil 7, psychological survival horror games seem to be hitting mainstream more and more. And that amuses me, I'm quite happy with that. Sable. Okay, I have no idea how they made the game look like this, but god, it is gorgeous, with a huge focus on exploration and contemplating the environment. But we hope it's just not that. We also hope it can provide an experience worth of our time, like Journey did. Eternal Threads. This game presents a very interesting concept of going through time to uncover a mystery, as you watch the scenes in the order you have available and try to picture together why and how the murder happened. Interesting indeed. Axiom Verge 2. If the first game was heavily inspired by Metroid, this one is by Castlevania. Very different from the first one, but doesn't look bad. The close melee combat, bullet dodging combined with hacking mechanics are a nice combo, and there's a variety of bosses. So it might be disappointing if you were expecting it to be a direct sequel, but as something of its own, it's showing great promise. Mkhitaryan Fables. We've seen farming games with a multitude, a freaking gigantic amount of minigames and mechanics to fulfill the rest of the game. And Mkhitaryan makes RPG that minigame. The sprites are cute, the concept sounds and looks fun, so let's expect a good launch. Origami II, 3D stealth game. This is intended to be stealth with some combat in this sequel. That's a style of game that hits mainstream fairly easy, and Origami II tries to thrive in that concept. The animations look stiff, I'm not gonna lie, but the style's cool, and the gameplay has a good pace to it. Kinda like what Assassin's Creed should be. But if you think about it, every single game shows what Assassin's Creed could be. Song of Iron. Super realistic side-scrolling combat. It catches everyone's attention with that premise. The game is well structured and very pretty. It lacks polishment though, especially in the enemy AI, and we'll see if the full launch fixes that issue. New World. I'm waiting for this game for so long. It's heavily inspired on things like Path of Exile and tries to make the mechanics better, while not trying to just be a prettier game, but also better in terms of mechanic. We'll see about that. But the developers really care about the game's community, which is a great advantage when you're talking about MMORPGs. Number 5. There is no light. On the pixel art, this one is amazing. They really nailed the dark, nasty aesthetic, and it is a major selling point for this. It tries its best to be as hard and varied as it can be, and the combat on the demo was very precise and challenging. Naturally bothers me about this one, so I hope it turns out well. Number 4. Death's Door. Devolver digital games are all about methodically dodging and hitting, and Death's Door is no exception. The game seems fast-paced and hard to master. I really enjoyed the aesthetic on this one, and there's no reason to expect mediocrity from the studio. Number 3. Bridge of Spirits. Definitely one of the games I'm looking forward the most. What has been shown is graphically beautiful, anime designs are great, and the combat feels nice to watch, but it looks like it's getting boring quickly, which I hope won't be the case because the story doesn't seem like the main selling point of the game. Number 2. The Ascent. Cyberpunk action RPG. Those are better words now, but hear me out. This one actually has more than it looks. In fact, there's a whole actual finished game behind it that takes the setting into consideration in the gameplay, and the result seems to be more like what we wanted to see in Cyberpunk 2077. Number 1. Little Devil Inside. Action RPG and survival games have been trying to get along for years, and this title is promising to finally make that thing happen properly. I mean, don't bring Minecraft into this. That's not horror survival action RPG, no, just don't. I love the style, the atmosphere, and what is available of the gameplay so far. The variety is breathtaking, and we hope, as always, for the best. That's it for this video. Destroy the like button with the power of thy present. And don't forget to subscribe for more unleveled videos every week.